And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking the British Touring Car Championship and our Snetterton Preview with winners galore for WSR in Snetterton. Who is going to claim the spoils this weekend for the touring cars? So here we go. Snetterton is calling. It is officially a race week again. They're coming now, fast and heavy, aren't they, it seems, for the British Touring Car Championship. We've already had 2 rounds in place, and what a few rounds they were. Very different. We thought Tom Ingram was going to dominate. Then, very much, Napa was not too far away, because they did it very well as well, haven't they? But then we go to Brands Hatch, and West Surrey Racing wakes up and suddenly decides to become a good car. It's all getting exciting, it's all getting confusing in terms of trying to predict who's going to do well in Snetterton. So these are the drivers' standings going into Snetterton. Ash Sutton is leading on 92 points, Tom Ingram on 87, Jake Hill on 80. Realistically, they're your 3 at the moment for the championship. Tom Chilton in 4th, Adam Morgan in 5th, Dan Rowbottom in 6th, Camish in 7th, the big hope, but to be fair, he had a disastrous weekend in the touring cars in Brands Hatch, and let's be fair, no fault of his own. 8th is Smiley, 9th is Charles Rainford, yes, new winner Charles Rainford, 10th is Aidan Moffat, and 11th is Darryl De Leon, also a new winner. Now, when we look at the BTCC Snetterton timetable, we have obviously qualifying at 3:10 again, and on the Saturday, if you're a touring car fan, the big ones for you are 11:30, the first race. We have also race number 7, so race, well, it says race 5 here, but it's actually race number 7, 8, 9 in the touring car championship. So round 8 is at 2:20 and 16:55 for the last one. So you can probably watch, because it's the Monaco Grand Prix weekend as well. You can get away with at least the first and last race not interrupting Monaco, albeit I'll just watch Monaco until the first corner, then carry on with the BTCC personally. But there we go. So in terms of the actual guide, we're going to take you around the lap here. But here is a guide, and it has names such as Williams, Hamilton, Senna, Rundle. One of the best named corner tracks, I think, in the world is Snetterton, and very fast in a straight line. So speaking of tracks, speaking of Snetterton, which you can see behind me, let's have a go at let's have a look at the race. Let's have a look at the track itself, shall we? Before we get into the drivers. Okay, this is a hot lap on Project Cars. So we are now heading down what is essentially the Senna straight into what's called Riches. Yes, let's hope there's going to be Riches for some of the drivers here as we now head into Wilson, which is a lot sharper than you really think. And so as we come out of Wilson, you need a good exit because there are quite a few straights. And the next corner coming up is a bit faster. It is Palmer. As we then go around on the power again. I mean, you need to be, it's almost worth braking early just so you can come out of the turns better and into Agostini. On the left, we have a very short straight though after Agostini into a very nicely named corner known as Hamilton. Pretty sure that's named after Lewis. And as we go absolutely completely wide there, we are into Oggies, which is an absolutely amazing name. Carrying on then on the power, not even a straight worth to mention, into a corner called Williams. Now we are probably equally equal or longest straight at Snetterton, all the way down, and we're coming up to a corner very nicely named after the OBE man called Brundle. Now, I think this is the hardest set of corners here. We go left, and then we're into another corner called Nelson on the power. The final 2 corners, we've got Bombhole, B-O-M-B. Yes, it does sound a bit rude when the commentators say it. And the final corner being Corn, but it's a really weird corner. It goes right, and then a flick on the left back onto the start-finish straight, as you can see here. Bizarre, but there we go. And we do this quite a few times, but Snetterton is a really long track, isn't it? So, a few facts then, if you will, about the Snetterton track. Only a few. So, It was originally, like Silverstone, an RAF airfield designated for use in 1943. And it was open between 1943 and 1948. The circuit itself, though, was created in 1951 from the network of remaining runways, which is why we have a lot of straights. And its first race was that same year by the Aston Martin Owners Club, back when Aston Martin was, I think, more British than it is now, so to speak. So the circuit configuration has changed several times during the years. Its 60-year history. In the 60s and 70s, it was about 2.7 miles long and in length. It had a large section that ran almost adjacent to the A11 road next to it, before a sharp hairpin turn and a long run back to what is known as Brundle and the Nelson Corners, but it's changed. So the length is anything between 4.7 kilometres and 2, which is its maximum length, 2.9 miles, with 12 corners. There we go. Let's get into our drivers now, shall we? And we're doing this kind of like in some sort of championship-ish order, albeit, yeah, Nicholas Hamilton. I think he'll have another solid weekend. I think he'll have a better weekend than he had in Brands. Could he get points? Absolutely. He can always get points. There's always a chance for any driver in the touring cars to get points. However, the but is, I think he needs something to happen ahead of him. Or we have inclement weird weather, which I don't think is guaranteed. So Stephen Jelly, very much the second driver against Josh Cook, but he has had, I think, a fairly strong start. I think he'll do all right. Next up is Max Hall. So what was an absolutely amazing Donington turned into not quite a disastrous, but it wasn't particularly good. It wasn't a particularly good brand. He's going to want to put that behind him. I think he'll do better, excuse me, at Snetterton. In terms of Aaron Taylor-Smith, absolutely the same. But he's in that Toyota. This Toyota is fast. And I don't know why people like Gordon Shedden, they're having an issue with it, aren't they? Excuse me. They're having an issue with the Toyota. And for the life of me, I don't really know why. And when someone like Gordon Shedden, with all his experience, is struggling, you have to ask question marks. And again, James Dawson with the Toyota, what is going on at this team? If you remember, Rob Huff nearly won a race at this point last year with the same team, the same car. As for Sam Osborne, yeah, Napa Racing, he's sadly one of the weaker links, but still, points, yeah, absolutely he could finish points. And Daniel Lloyd again could finish points in the Honda i30. We know how fast that car is in the hands of Tom Ingram, especially in the races. Dexter Patterson in the Cooper Leon. Once again, we're not expecting too much. I always said the Cooper is one of the weaker cars, but again, potentially points. Now Gordon Shedden, he's had, I think, I don't even want to say exceedingly average, just plain disappointing for the first two races. So I really hope he can do something about it in Snetterton. I think a lot of it is getting the car right, getting the setup right. So Ronan Pearson, again, with the Toyota, just like the others, they need to sort that car. Mikey Dobell, I think, is having a really good season in the Vauxhall Astra. The car's getting a bit old now, I feel. But yeah, I think definitely, I'd be surprised if he didn't get a decent haul of points, at least in one of these three races. Josh Cook, so far, I tipped him to be a championship contender. He's been really disappointing, but it's not, I don't think, Josh Cook's fault. Just things have kind of happened around him. And so I'm hoping for a really good weekend. Could he get a win? I really hope so. Speaking of winners, Darryl De Leon, absolutely fantastic. I'm hoping for more of the same. As we had at Brands Hatch, we've got long straights, and it's going to be really telling for the rest of the year what car is good down those long straights. We had a few at Donington, but these are proper straights. It's going to be really, really cool. Aidan Moffat is having a better year, I think, so far. At least more consistent. Yes, he'd already won a race, didn't he? At this point last year, but I feel he's in the mix more for all. For the rounds, and he did have that amazing comeback, didn't he? I think it was it was in Brands Hatch. Charles Rainford, welcome to the winning club, and he qualified second on the front row alongside Jake Hill. This guy is here. He means business. I'm really looking forward to what he can do at Brands Hatch, and I think, could he get a win? Absolutely, just like Darryl De Leon, he could get a win. This guy's Mr. Consistent, Chris Smiley. Considering I've always said the Cooper Leon, one of the weaker cars, he is doing absolutely everything. I don't think his team, or even Chris himself, can ask for more. Dan Camish, kind of like Josh Cook, just stuff happens to him. And it's not particularly great. He got that awesome pole at Donington. And sadly, his car came to a standstill at Brands Hatch. He's really unlucky. If he can get a bit of luck, I don't think his championship is completely derailed here. But I think in the next 2 rounds, well, the next 6 rounds, the next 2 weekends for Touring Car, he can't lose any more points, really, if he can help it. And yeah, Dan Robon having an absolutely fantastic season, as is this guy here. Both Dan and Adam, I can see him on the podium. Adam Morgan on the podium. He seems a lot happier with that Hyundai and the way it drives than he was with the BMW. Just really, for whatever reason, didn't suit him. Points, absolutely. Podium, yes. Win, I think it might be asking a bit too much, but never say never, especially with that reverse grid. Race number 3. Tom Chilton having a solid weekend. Brands wasn't particularly as good as Donington was, but I think he will, with the extra boost now he's going to have because he slipped back, I think he will be better at Snetterton. Jake Hill, yes, he only won 1 race and kind of got bullied, didn't he, by his 2 younger counterparts, but I think he can go home happy. That car at Brands showed, yes, it can be a championship contender, which looked in doubt in Donington. Here, absolutely, I think it can be as well. And Ash Sutton's nemesis, according to some, Tom Ingram, I think will have an absolutely solid weekend as well. One of the favourites going in, as is this guy here. I mean, I'll be surprised if either Ash or Tom do not win a race. It will be absolutely surprising. But I do think Ash, Tom and Jake are your 3 favourites going into the weekend. Having said that, what a surprise that Brands Hatch was. So never say never. So that is our season preview. That is our BTCC Snetterton preview at the very least. If you are subscribed, that's absolutely fantastic. But if you're not, and you want to, and we've earned your subscription, please click that button. If you'd like to do a bit more, just watching it and getting to this point is more than enough for us. But hit the like button, comment below, let us know who you think is going to win. Can Dow Deleon Charles Rainford repeat what happened in Brands Hatch? Or will Jake Hill be too strong? And Napa Racing's Ash Sutton, Team Virtue, Tom Ingram, are they going to be too much? Will they seek revenge? Until then, speak to you soon. Thank you very much, and